Hey everyone, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the rock and roll festival that's coming up October 6th, 7th, and 8th in Indio, California. It's called Power Trip, and you may have heard of it already. I think it's got a very interesting and, to be honest, an amazing lineup. And I want to talk a little bit about it, just some thoughts that I have, and I don't want to say predictions or anything like that, but just what the possibilities and how I think each night maybe could go great or maybe not so great. So, anyways, just want to share my thoughts on it. So, starting from the last day and going backwards, I'll start with Sunday. So, Sunday has Metallica and Tool. Now, these bills are called co-headlining sets, but you kind of know, common sense of maybe who's playing first and who's playing second, right? And as far as I know, it's only the two bands that are billed. So it's quite interesting. There's really nothing like it. And well, Metallica and Tool in the same night. I mean, so this is the heaviest night of the festival. And it's also the night that I feel that, and dare I say, least can go wrong as long as they play like they're supposed to play and like they are playing. I have followed Metallica over the years. I think right now they're playing probably better than they have in a long time. And it's part of the reasons why I feel they're one of the biggest bands on the planet right now. And right this second, they may just be the biggest band on planet Earth. Because right now we got some big tours out there, and that's a whole nother subject for another vlog. But they're one of the big ones right now, so it says something about where they're at in their career. They're very consistent. They've been very consistent with their albums, and they just had an album not too long ago this year. So they're doing great. Tool, on the other hand, is considered one of the greatest live bands on also planet Earth by their fan base and the people that go see them. And I'm a sort of new Tool fan. I mean, I have followed them over the years, very, very, very casually. Not, the big songs on each album, I'll hear those. But with the last album, the latest one, that's when I was like, well, you know what? I kind of want to, and it's so easy now with Spotify and stuff like that. So I kind of want to, I want to see what it's all about, because Tool fans love Tool more than most fan bases love the band they're into. So I mean, there's got to be a reason, right? So I'm a rather new Tool fan. I think Tool is fantastic. I have not seen them live yet, but I do see the videos online, especially of the latest tour, and I think it looks freaking fantastic. So I can't wait to actually experience them in person. But just like in this night, just talking about this night, what I think is really cool about this night is that I don't see a lot to go wrong. Like a lot of times when you're dealing with these co-headline sort of nights, it's a balance of energy. Like there's going to be a lot of people out there. How much energy can they deal with? Now it's not like it's music all day, so maybe it's possible to deal with two world-class bands in the span of 4 hours. Maybe that's possible, but maybe it's not. Like maybe Tool is just going to tire everybody out in a good way, and then Metallica halfway through their set is going to be like, Tool tired everybody out, in a good way. And we are dealing with very tired people, because these bands are so good that emotionally they can drain you. And that's what I mean when I say tired out, like emotionally drained. It's there's a reason why you don't see bands this big playing with each other all the time. But I think in this case, it's perfect, because Tool, as thunderous as they seem, and as I know they are live, it's very different than Metallica. And I think they will complement each other just right on that Sunday night. So that's my thoughts for Sunday night. I think if you're going on Sunday night, it's going to be the heaviest night. It's more of like it's got the heavier vibes of the 3 days. So and I think these bands are at a very consistent point of their career. So I think that that's you can be confident. I think that this night should be a night to enjoy. Okay, so Saturday night, October 7th, we have AC/DC and Judas Priest. Now, if you've been following this festival, uh, you would know that Ozzy Osbourne was originally billed in where Judas Priest is now. Judas Priest stepped in. I think they were a perfect band to step in, and I think it should be good. I know a lot of people wanted to see Ozzy, but of course, he addressed the situation, and like I said, Judas Priest I think is the perfect band to step in. So, the possibilities of this night. Well, okay, so AC/DC being AC/DC, it's going to be Judas Priest, and then of course AC/DC. And I know I didn't mention on the day before. I do believe it's probably going to be Tool and then Metallica. So, anyways, so Judas Priest starts off. I've been a big Judas Priest fan for a long time, and I follow them on their tours, through YouTube, and I think recently, Rob Halford he's gotten a lot of his voice back. Like it's obviously he's the age that he is, and there's going to be some adjusting, of course, and I know that they've brought the tunings down somewhat. And that's been for a long time, and in many ways that made them sound more aggressive live. That didn't take away from their music. I think it added to their music live. I'm talking about like when he rejoined the band, they kind of went down right away, but it sounded great. And I think we're hearing the return of some of his range, and he's just very comfortable in how he's singing now. He sounds really good live. In fact, I may say he sounds great live. He always looks great live, and he's got his performance down. So I wouldn't be worried too much about Judas Priest. They've kind of become this machine live at this point in their career, even though they're at the age that they are. And I know Glenn Tipton, of course, not being playing regularly with them, obviously is an issue. But in terms of how good they are live and how good they should be that night, I don't think that will be an issue. I think they'll be great. We saw them recently on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you haven't seen that, check it out. You can watch it on a streaming service somewhere. I think it's the HBO one. I'm not too sure. I think it's the HBO app. Anyway, so yeah, you can see it there. Good performance. Glenn Tipton was there. I believe KK Downing was there as well. But of course, live consistently with the band lineup, obviously he wouldn't be there. So you got the band that they're touring with right now, which they've been doing a great job with. I wouldn't worry about Judas Priest. I think they're going to put an awesome show on for the people that are there. So AC/DC. This is where night 2 becomes questionable, because AC/DC is one of the greatest bands to ever exist and one of the greatest live shows to ever be. So with that said, I do believe AC/DC has the ability to really be the performance of the whole festival. At the same time, there are concerns. Those concerns lie somewhat with how is Brian Johnson. Now, he seems healthy and he seems great, but the voice, it's a very, very hard voice to pull off. And there are the issues, of course, with the hearing. And we haven't seen AC/DC. That's my main thing behind my thoughts here, that we haven't really seen AC/DC consistently in quite some time. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Tool, and Iron Maiden, they've all been, and Judas Priest as well, they've all been consistently performing. AC/DC had the shows in 2016 where Axl Rose came in, and before that, of course, there's a live DVD performance that was documented in 2009 and was released shortly after the tour, where Malcolm Young was, of course, still with the band and still with us, of course, and it's a fantastic documentation of how great AC/DC is in concert. And that's the concert at River Plate, Argentina, Buenos Aires, and you can check that out on YouTube. I think the whole thing you can watch there, and it's amazing. I watch that at least once every 6 months. I watch that, and it's absolutely terrifying just how good this band is live in concert when everything's going good, And I'm really glad they put that out, because it's I don't know. I think more people need to see that DVD, or however you want to watch it, Blu-ray. It's probably on Blu-ray. It's you can watch it on YouTube. It's amazing, but it's also 2009, and I do believe Brian Johnson had some periods of touring before things went wrong with the hearing, and Axl Rose came in. Of course, there's a Coachella gig that he did, which was very, very good. So, it's one night. So if he goes out there and sings 60, 70% of what he can sing, I think Saturday night should be amazing. I really do. I think that's like the sleeper night here, because I mean you're dealing with AC/DC, and you're dealing with two bands that, even though they're at their age, can still put a performance that no one's really expecting. Like, and you realize, whoa, these are two of the greatest bands ever, and the vibes to me, like Sunday, are quite different. So they'll complement each other, and contrast just in the right way that I believe it won't exhaust you. AC/DC has this party, larger than life feel, and Judas Priest, they got a lot of variety in their music. They probably, I mean, I don't know what they're gonna play, but dare I say, they're maybe between Guns N' Roses and Judas Priest have like songs that that take you all over the place. You don't know it. Some ballads, and I know Judas Priest ballads aren't quite like ballads, but they have slower themes, slower songs. Where sometimes they'll even bust the acoustic out if they play some of those songs, and even their metal songs, like they're different kinds of metal songs. Some are fast, some are slow, some are driving. There's a lot of variety. So I think that night can have a lot of variety. It won't nobody will really be drained, and it could be the sleeper of all of the 3 nights that could really rise and be the best night. Who knows? So yeah, the if they both play solid, then you're dealing with a great night. If there's going to be some trouble, and I don't want to obviously jinx that in any sort of way, as if I have that power, but yeah, the Brian Johnson's voice, we'll see how it goes, because there's unfortunately, like when we've seen it with Vince Neil, with Motley Crue, sometimes with Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses. When the voice ain't there and the crowd's singing a lot, it can be fun, but at the same time, they're the reason why they're great. And when you hear those voices in person, it can really make a night like a night to remember. So, anyways, that's my thoughts of night 2 with AC/DC and Judas Priest. So now to night 1. I don't. This is the interesting night to me, and it's part of the reason I'm making this vlog. Guns N' Roses and Iron Maiden. Now, you could say this about night 3 with Tool, but if I'm being real, like, I don't think any band on planet Earth wants Iron Maiden to open up for them. Like, they're like the last band I can think of. Maybe like Rammstein. Maybe I can think of a few bands, like maybe like Tool, but the contrast of the bills like just makes sense to me. But with this one, Iron Maiden and Guns N' Roses, whoa! Like, I mean, they're bringing Eddie out. They're their show. I know, I've seen the show they're playing right now. It's getting better and better. Interesting night. Iron Maiden first. Wow. Now, here's the thing. Guns N' Roses, if you would have told me this last year at this time, which the announcement was not at this point last year, so I didn't know about it, I would have said, oh, goodness, Guns N' Roses is, they're going to have Iron Maiden open up. That's yeah, you don't want that, right? But here we are in 2023 in the summer, and they're playing right now. And guess what? They're getting better and better right now. Like, they've really improved lately. Axl's sounding pretty darn good lately. He's gotten pretty fit. Go check it out. Check out the most recent dates. And there's a vibe around Guns N' Roses right now, if you've been paying attention, that we haven't seen in a while. They're really starting to play really good. I mean, they really are. He's starting to sound good. He looks good. The band sounds good. And number one, there's new music on the way. 100%. We know this. It's been confirmed. There's new music on the way. Album, EP, I don't know. But there's new, or single. I don't think it's just one song. There's new music on the way. And I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing them kind of heat up somewhat. And this is an interesting timing for this, because it all, it seems like it's all heating up for Power Trip. And so, how's it gonna go night one? So to me, like, one of the real interesting aspects is we're dealing with the two frontmen that are kind of unpredictable. Now, Axl Rose has been a little bit better with this lately. He's pretty responsible now. He's and there's been some issues lately that have happened during their shows, and he's controlled himself. He's been professional. I think he's been awesome as a frontman recently. And throw in the fact that he's actually, maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm a fan and I've been following. I've never seen him do so many meet and greets with fans. Like, I'm seeing pictures all over the place now with fans meeting Axl. That's cool. He's their frontman. So the fact that he's like being a little bit more out there now, that only helps that band. It really does. I mean, he's a huge celebrity. He's always been kind of like in the back of recent years. Not many interviews, and here he is starting to come out a little bit more. That only helps Guns N' Roses. Probably helps his confidence and whatnot. So I don't expect for Axl Rose to go on, to go out on Power Trip and be like just like bash everybody. I don't think so. I think he's gonna have a great attitude about it. I think they'll do great. And it's hard to say because they're getting better and better as time goes on this year. Now that brings me to my final point: Bruce Dickinson. Bruce Dickinson is one of the greatest live performers we've ever seen. I don't know how a man that age sings the way he does. I really don't know. He's had throat cancer. He's singing better now than he has like in 10 years. He's been great those 10 years. So that's the thing. Like, we're talking about being great when he already was great. It's scary how easy he is singing his own songs right now and performing. And just go watch if you haven't watched lately. And there's a new star in Iron Maiden. Same band members for a long time, of course. But there's a new star in that band on this tour. And it made everybody appreciate what he does for this band. And I've seen it on their shows recently. And that is Nico McBrain. He is, I believe, 71 years old. Have we ever seen what he's doing right now? Like, remember, heavy metal started at a certain point that we can all remember. No, not me, obviously. I didn't live it, but people that are the age that literally were in high school when Black Sabbath came out and all the way to Saxon, to Iron Maiden. I mean, they remember this. They're young enough to be like, I lived it all. That's how new heavy metal is. Have we seen, maybe there's been a few, but he's basically at a place that no one's ever been in his genre of music. A metal drummer that's 71. Like, see what I'm saying here? Like, he's at a place where no man has been. How far can he go? How far can he do it? When this tour started, he made some videos on Instagram where he seemed nervous, and he's adapted some songs here and there to get it done. And as the tour's gone on, he's sounding better and better. The adaptations that he's made, he's kept them like he has, like the beginning of Trooper. He does it at the end of the song, but he doesn't do it at the beginning of the song, and it's okay. It's okay. It sounds fine. If this is what it takes for him to perform as great as he does, then that's fine. But it's really put a microscope and an appreciation for what he does. It's taken for granted all these years. You see him, and he's gotten older, and it's like, man, we took this for granted. He's so good, and there's no guarantee he would have been able to do it. You got to be healthy. You got to be strong. You got to be physically fit for it, and he had been. And he still is. So there's a new star in this band, other than just Bruce Dickinson and the rest of the guys. There's like the idea that Nico is a monster in a good way in this band. So it's a little bit of aspect that I noticed lately, which makes their show even better. So going all the way back to Power Trip. There's a lot of things that are happening all at once right now that are gonna make this night so wow. One night of these two bands all heating up right at this moment. It should be awesome. So basically, in my opinion, night one is just guaranteed to be awesome. Except, and I'll end with this, Bruce Dickinson, and all the greatness that he is, sometimes can say the wrong things. And he's a great speaker live, but every once in a 20 gigs, or 40 gigs will say something that makes you do this. Why did you say that? Just remember Ozfest, and I know that kind of went, the last gig was kind of a little bit of a, people kind of disagree on who was right, who was wrong. Anyways, but there was some rumors out there and confirmed stuff that he was talking a lot during that tour and pissed some people off. And he's had a lot over the years, and it's not. I mean, he seems to be a great guy. It's just the adrenaline and he's very strong live in concert. Sometimes no one's perfect. As long as he keeps the attitude, I mean and the attitude towards this show positive, and it should be positive. It's 2, 3, 4, my math. 6 of the greatest bands on Earth right now. I've said Earth a lot in this video blog. Playing together, there should be nothing but positivity on this show. There really should be nothing but positivity on this show. Really. Regardless of how different these bands are, they've made it and they're legends, and they should be happy about it and happy for each other. So I hope that Bruce Dickinson just keeps it positive. Nothing but positivity for all his brothers in rock and roll and heavy metal on that night. If he does, man, that night is one for the books. It really is. The people that can say they were there for that night one, there's nothing like it. Like, nobody wants either of those bands to play before them, and they're playing on the same night. That's going to be crazy. All right, so I look forward to seeing it. These are my thoughts on this Power Trip Festival. Anyone who's going, man, that's pretty awesome. And that's it. That's all I got really to say to it. So hope you enjoyed that. Would like to hear your thoughts on what you think this festival has in store, how you think it's going to go. Anyways, that's it. Till next time, rock on.